Jean Philippe, good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning.
Um, well, uh, a bit of madness it seems, a bit of madness from Didier Deschamps in the team selection, and yet they nearly got away with it. So what is the general consensus in France about how the team performed, and particularly how Deschamps performed?
It's a kind of a surprise because there was a kind of national dogma or faith that whatever happened, Deschamps, as a master tactician, will find the solution. And obviously, yesterday night, he didn't find the solution. And to be honest, since the world of this Euro and even the couple of friendlies we had before, he has never been able to find the solution. We played 6 games, 2 friendly, 4 games in the Euro, and we had something like 4 systems. Even yesterday night, we had 3 different systems, and it was a bit of a mess. And it's not very Deschamps-like, if we can put it like this.
It seemed like he was trying to find a solution for a problem that he created last night.
Yeah, I mean, he had this funny idea to start with back 3 or back 5 defense, and he starts with Langley, and I'm sure you know that he had a poor season with Barcelona. He didn't play a single minute with France during the friendlies, and so I think Langley was not ready to play, and but we can't blame Langley for everything that happened last night. And when you are leading 3-1 like this, whatever the tactics you are playing, whatever the system, I mean, we have been too arrogant, I think. Leading 3-1, surviving a penalty, surviving playing so bad, we thought it was over, and the Swiss were not okay with this, and they surprised us, and they deserved their qualification. We only played well for 20 minutes. I mean, from the penalty stopped by Loris to the third goal scored by Pogba. But apart from that, we had a very poor game, and we had a very good game against Germany, then a poor game against Hungary, and a poor game against Portugal. So we deserve to be back home.
Can I ask what the future is for Deschamps? Is he safe or is his job at risk?
It's going to be his own decision because the president of the French Federation, Noël Le Graët, is a huge fan. So it's never going to be Le Graët who's going to say Deschamps has done his time. So it's really Deschamps' decision. If he feels like he's a bit tired, he wants to do something else. But I don't think so. I think the World Cup in Qatar is there. It's going to be next year, so I don't think anything is going to happen to Deschamps, or if anything happens, it's going to be his decision. The federation is 100% behind it.
What about the French supporters?
Yeah, the French. I mean, it's a huge hangover this morning. People feel a bit a bit let down by we thought we had the best, we knew we had the best players, and we also thought we had the best team, and we were wrong, because it's not because, I mean, once again, it's not because you have the so-called best players that you have the best team. So the feeling this morning in France, we didn't expect that at all. I mean, we could have been kicked out of the competition, even by Spain in quarterfinal, or even Belgium in semi-final. But Swiss, so early in the competition, I mean, nobody was expecting that, including l'équipe. I mean, we had those meetings, and we were already talking about the quarterfinal in St. Petersburg, and the final 4 in London. We have been too arrogant, too French.
Jean Philippe, we might just give you a call back. There's a bit of popping on the line there. It's interesting to hear that everybody had that belief that the planning for the quarterfinals. I mean, you have to plan for the quarterfinals when you're the world champions against a team like Switzerland, right? Who'd never been beyond this stage in any tournament, certainly the Euros, ever.
Yeah, like I can see why, and I think that there needs to be almost a battle plan for every route you can possibly go down, and every sort of combination of player you want to use in order to ensure that you have fresh legs to go all the way in the tournament. Like, you've got to be thinking big if you want to go all the way, rather than putting all your eggs into one basket. And at the same time, you do need to do your homework on the opposition that you're playing. You need to do your homework on the team that you are. And from what we're seeing, from the analysis that we're seeing from last night, this was just not a formation that suited the bunch of players that Deschamps have.
That's different, isn't it? That you do your homework and then you respond to it, even though you're not fit to respond to it.
Exactly. Like, I'd be interested once we re-establish Jean Philippe, because he made the point there that it's not the best team anymore. That they thought before last night that this was the best team in the competition, and it's not anymore. Like, is that actually the case? Did we not just see the exit of the best team in the European Championships last night, led in a fairly hapless manner?
That's a good question. Ask it there.
Is he back?
Yeah.
Oh, Jean Philippe, how are you? You mentioned there that this isn't. You think that last night proved that this isn't the best team at the Euros, but do we not think that this possibly is the best team at the Euros, and their manager led them down the wrong path last night?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we are the best team, looking back at it, because our defense was too poor. And the way we played last night, the way we defend last night, it's not possible. This team is pretty much the same team that won the World Cup 2 years ago, but two players. And those players are Samuel Umtiti and Blaise Matuidi. And they are not the most glamorous players that we have, but they were very important in the system, in the tactic, and we really missed them at this Euro, and Deschamps hasn't been able to replace them, and that was the main problem. So I don't think we had the best players, but we didn't have the best team at this Euro. I mean, we didn't play that well. Not only last night, but since the beginning of the Euro, of the competition.
Can I talk a little bit about Kylian Mbappe? Because in this part of the world, a lot is being made of the fact that after he missed the penalty, there was no visible support immediately from his teammates. I don't know if it's a big deal or not, but putting that in the context of Jerome Roten's comments about Mbappe's ego being too much a couple of days ago, what is the perception of Mbappe and his relationship with his teammates at the moment?
I don't think his relation with his teammates are that bad. And it's true, he hasn't scored a goal during the whole competition, but up front he has been one of the, if not the most creative. So I don't think the relation, from what we have heard, that there were tensions in the team, or that it was a question of egos or anything like this. I think a lot of players are pretty exhausted, and Mbappe among them. You have to remember that Mbappe played the Final Four of the Champions League last August. So he had very short vacation. He was back in action with PSG, playing the French League and playing the European Cup, reaching the semi-final, then joining the French national team for a couple of friendlies and playing the Euro. And I think he's a bit exhausted. He's a bit tired of all this. That's one of the reasons. Maybe he was too sure of himself as well, and he was asking a lot. I mean, he wanted to score the free kicks. He wanted to shoot the free kicks. He wanted to shoot the penalties. He was asking for responsibilities. And obviously, yesterday night, I mean, he should have scored this penalty 100 times. But I don't think it was a question so much of egos, more a question of players being tired and the tactics being so bad. And once again, people are very disappointed by what Deschamps has done with this team since the beginning of the Euro, and especially last night. I mean, it's easy to say now, but there was a lot of skepticism before the game with this idea of playing a back three with Longley, and people were not too enthusiastic about the idea, and for once we were right and Deschamps was wrong.
I have two quick questions for you. Is there ever any chance of Arsène Wenger being the French national team manager?
Oh, no, you're kidding or what? No. Nobody's talking about Arsène Wenger. I mean, a lot of people are going to talk about Zidane because he hasn't got a job, and recently Florentino Perez said that Zidane wanted to coach the French national team, but I don't think Wenger is an option. And as I told you, I don't think Deschamps is in any danger. It's only his decision. If he wants to stay, will stay. That's 100% sure. It's only if he's tired of the job that they will have to look at the other option. And I think Zidane will be the option, the option number one, not Wenger.
It's kind of crazy that there's no consequences for Deschamps then on last night.
Excuse me, I didn't get it.
There's no consequence then for Deschamps for last night.
I think he has lost a lot of magic for the French public. He's not the master tactician that he used to be. But if you talk about being in danger and being fired and anything like this, but it's his worst tournament with the French national team. With Deschamps, you also have to understand from where we are coming back with Deschamps, because before Deschamps, it was French national team was a disaster, and with him we reached the quarterfinal in Brazil, the final at the Euro that we organized in France, then we won the World Cup. So even if we are all very disappointed by this very early exit in the Euro, you have to remember. I mean, he's not such a bad coach. He has done a lot of mistakes, but people, I think, still believe in him. We thought he was a kind of a Superman, super tactician, and obviously he's not a genius, but he's still a good coach. And I mean, personally, I don't see any reason. I mean, if it's Zidane, okay, but if it's not Zidane, we should keep Deschamps.
And last question is about Paul Pogba and his standing after the tournament. He played very well in patches. He was absolutely sensational. His through balls, there was a couple of times where there was one in particular in the first half where Benzema just couldn't kill it, but if he had, it would have been one of the great goals of tournament football. What's his standing in France at the moment? And surely PSG must be looking at taking a little nibble to see if they can get him in the team.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Pogba last night, you have the whole Pogba in only 20 minutes. He scored his incredible goal, but then he lost. I mean, it's his fault that is the Swiss scored the third goal, because he lost the ball right in the center of the midfield, and it was really his responsibility to keep the ball and to keep the team together. And he had this fantastic goal, but his game overall yesterday night I was not really impressed by him, and he didn't defend that well. Even Kante seems exhausted. So if Paris Saint-Germain is going to go for Pogba, I don't know. They are spending a lot of they're ready, I think, to spend a lot of money, but Pogba, it's always complicated, and it's a little too early to say. I think there are very mixed feelings toward Pogba this morning in France. His game against Germany was fantastic. His goal yesterday night, same thing. But he also had a lot of very difficult moments on the pitch defending. So, yeah, very mixed feelings.
All right, Jean Philippe, we'll let you go. Thanks a million. Cheers.
Bye. Enjoy the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, you too. Take care.